Howdy, folks. Rock the DuckFarmer here, and I'm playing on the FTOG All the Mods 8 server, and it's been a blast getting a whole bunch of things done, and you may think I'm just sitting here in a void world, but I'm not. I'm dropping in on my base. Am I showing off my no fall damage shoes? Yes, I am. I also wanted to show off my finished building back here for my Mistcraft. I keep wanting to say Mistcraft, mystical agriculture, and I had some fun setting this up. I went with the ebony because that gives a nice dark black wood, a lightly brownish, bark on that, but that's okay. I love deep slate. I think it's a fantastic building block. But also up there at the top here, if I stop looking, I went with some white, and if it's spin around, but too many times. There we go. I went with this here. Whoop. There we go. Finally reached it. A white mangrove. I picked up one of those because I looked for a good light white, and I decided a nice contrast was fun. It's slightly pink, ever so slightly, but and Middleclaw came by and was looking at this place, and he was going, "Looks like a morgue." So welcome to the morgue. Yes, indeed. Because all these look like coffins in here, which, it's definitely true. One of the things that I've done, I went ahead and took out all of the seeds in here for the tier 1 essences, except for all the Imperium, because I'm going to need lots and lots of Imperium. And if we go up, oh yeah, elevators. If we go up a level, I've got all the storage in here that I should need, if I counted right, which is a real big if in here. So these will be all my seeds, and over here is the beginning of the tier 1 stuff. Well, I guess this is also tier 1. Yep, got some Insanium essences, and this was the what is this, floral? Yeah, the fertilizer essence. That stuff is just a random byproduct. Because they have all hit a full 2K, and they do have void upgrades, but I went ahead and yanked them out. I don't need them just generating tick. If I'm going to generate tick, I want to sit there and make some Insanium essences. I also have here some feather essence. Well, it's not feather essence, it's chicken essence. And that's this guy here. It's a tier 2 seed. I also made the nature seed for last episode's thumbnail. And because I figured if I had that nice little animation going, I might as well make a seed with it. Anyway, all this stuff is dripping down into this chest and then disappearing. So 94, 5, 96, 7, all right, 8. There it is, and it's gone. Because I am processing everything, and if I go down below, I am using the crafter here from RF Tools so that I could sit there and take my green Inferium essence and upgrade it along the stacks until I finally hit Insanium, and that pumps out through here and it gets picked up. And the way I set this up is this is why I wanted the Master Infusion Crystal, because it's unlimited uses and it just gets used and used and used, and that's great. I also went here, you can see it's got a little kind of a gray, grayed out piece there. I went through and taught it all of these components. Let me pull them all out, except for the Inferium, because I don't care. All the Inferium can go in here, but these, it's going to process through, and they can only be stored in those locations. I went through each one of these essences, these first 4, and told it to use an internal buffer for storing all of it. So everything that's made goes back not into the outside to get it exported, but stays inside here and gets processed here. Now, the very last one, the Insanium essence, I do want that to go out, but this is using external C, I guess crafting maybe, where everything that's created goes out here, but the internal bits, like buckets, or in this case, my Master Infusion Crystal, they all stay internally. And so that way I'm only outputting the Insanium. So that's what I've got going there. This right here is my XNet controller. I have one channel, always channel one is always power. And then everything else, I've got two channels for items. This is output, and then this is essences going in. So the essences, instead of having them go anyplace else, they go into the crafter. Anyway, everything goes into here, into a gold chest, which allows me to come into here as I plant something new. Like, for example, I have that nature seed, but I haven't generated any essence. So when I plug that in, it's going to go ahead and get sucked in, and the nature essence will hang here, which gives me the option to put that somewhere in one of the chests. And if I get a nature seed, I can put that in there as well. That's what I've been doing. How to... Oh, let me show, if I grab this facade, you can see where everything is for right now. Let me go back up. Even though these are double chests, rather than doing single individual chests, I would need to have double the connectors to pull the stuff out. Because these are double chests, I just need one connector for each of them. So I'm saving a little bit of resources because I'm cheap. And so I've got all of these plugged in, and I've got 3 of these. I still need to do some of these. You can see I'm missing the facades here. I haven't built them, but I haven't actually built anything for those yet either. So as I expand this with more and more seeds in their pots, then I will expand the XNet. And it's going to do the same thing where it's just going to keep pulling everything into here. And then that goes directly into there, and then everything goes up. And because everything here can only go into the storage controller, that automatically gets routed upstairs, and everything here is all bound to it. So yay, it works, and it works very nice. And I love that you don't have to be physically connected with the controller and the drawers anymore. It's a fantastic thing. All right, why am I holding this little dagger in my hand? Because if I'm going to make the chicken seeds, for that, I need the tier 3, because this is a tier 3, it's a tier 2. I need the Prudentium, the tier 2 essence, but I also need these soul jars filled with chicken essence. So if we look at this, I can pump in items into there to do it, or I could do a slightly nastier thing where I just kill them. And so that's what I did. I went ahead and made some of these soul jars. You know, solarium, it's just a prosperity ingot with solarium dust, which you get in the end, not in the nether. And then these soul glass, which is just glass surrounded by soul dust, which again you get in the nether, and you just process it through several times until you get soul dust. And then what I did, and let's go out of here. I went over to my chicken area, and I made a whole bunch of chickens. And if you hold, I was running, there we go. Run. I came over to here, and I thank you. I went ahead and used my dagger here and just chucked in and killed all these guys. They gave me 1 level of chicken essence each, and each of the jars hold 8. So I had to kill a whole bunch of chickens, 24. But now, wrong thing. Next time I do this, I've got soul reaping 2 on here. So that means I should get 3 essences worth, levels worth of soul reaping next time I do that for any of the mobs. These guys are safe right now. I'm not going to kill them yet. All right, so let's put that away. So that kind of like, it's very industrial, but I like it. Next thing we want to do, I've been wanting to get some resources. I had way over there, they showed off my Enderman and spider farm. The spider gave me string so I could get some wool, and the Enderman, ender pearls, because I had so few. Well, I've got something there. Let's go take a visit and show you the other thing that I did. Up here, mob farm. So this is my mob farm. Let's stand back a little bit. This is 24 blocks away. So when I'm setting this up to actually do some mob farming, I come up here and I just AFK, and they just randomly spawn. Not super great because the higher up you go, and I'm close to but not quite build height, but the higher up you go, the less mobs just randomly spawn. It's Minecraft vanilla mechanics. That's the way it goes. But that's okay because I'm going to put some of the dreadful dirt in there that will kick up the vanilla mob spawns. Wrong button. There we go. I gotta make sure I'm clicking the right keys. I wave around with my hands, and that's an issue. So I'm using the mob grinding utilities. There's the grinder, and it is set up with most of the upgrades at this point. I also went with the various vector plates down here. I could have done, as you can see, the fan there, but I decided not to just because I was dumb. I could have saved myself a whole lot of grief doing that. Anyway, what I have, I am using redstone links from Create. I really like them since I discovered them in the last pack. So this one is my lights. You can sit there and turn them all off. This turns on blazes. You can see that they started glowing in there. This does Enderman. Oh, no, not Enderman, but Wither. Yep, you can see that in there too. And then I'm ready for Enderman, which I've got on me. So here's what we could do. If you have a spawner, and because Apotheosis is in the pack, if you hold shift, you can see all the benefits on there. So spawn delay, I hit it with a whole bunch of sugar to drop that. Max spawn delay, you need clocks, which is lots of gold, and I don't have it. Spawn count is only 4. If I feed it fermented spider eggs, then that can go up. Max entities, that's just how many creatures are in the area. I should bump that as well. I don't recall which. Activation and spawn range, those are all fine. I also added it, a soul lantern to ignore the light level. No AI. This is why I wanted that chorus fruit, because that makes them dumb. So if you do spawn them, they don't move, they don't attack you. Fantastic. And then silent, I hit it with a piece of wool accidentally, and it turned silent. I don't know what the difference is on that. If you hit R to see what you can do with it, it tells you the stuff you want. On a server, don't use nether stars because that ignores your player being close. So it just runs and runs and runs. Bad idea because that's major tick. If you have to, oh, I don't know where that came from. If you have to, absolutely have to run it because you're off doing other things, then what you need to do is have over here, click, 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 a redstone comparator so you can turn it on and off with a redstone link. And that's what you're looking for. But anyway, it just defines all the various things in here. I love the coarse fruit edition. That is such a fantastic thing. I don't have that many gas tiers, so I'm not going to be using that to increase the number of entities in spawner range. But they die pretty fast. Anyway, I'm going to put this down real quick. And the light is fading. It happened fast enough. Here, you go away. Did he just teleport? He's supposed to teleport. Anyway, I will go ahead and break this now. And I have a little bit of the tinted glass over here, so I can just kind of see through a little bit better. Let me break this, break this, break this. And I'm going to change my jetpack to hover. And I'm going to put the Enderman spawner right there. Now I can get rid of this. I'm going to have to move this up one. Just, you can see the blue area. This blows them off. And because occasionally they've spawned on here and stuck. And I don't want them to stay on top because they have no brains. They won't ever move. So I need to move this one up because of the Enderman spawner. And I also have another one over here pointing down. And why is that off? You should be on. This will blow things down into there. So I particularly want that in place. Let's go back out. I will set it up with the proper... Where did I get a stone brick from? Oh, because that was in there. All right, so now that's on. I'm going to hide the area. Same with this over here. Getting nice and dark and scary. But I don't care because this is my mob farm. Anyway, so a little bit of lights. It's an 11 by 11 by 11 cube on the inside. And typically I do a 9 by 9 and then however tall I want and just have a single column of the spawners. But because I plan on having a bunch of different types, I'm doing a 2 by 2 grid of possible spawners inside. So that's what I've got there. And let's go take a look downstairs. There's another elevator. Before I turned anything on, I actually went ahead and ran everything. Let's open this and take a look. So my mob musher has been upgraded with the sharpness and the luck, and then that's for undead, and that's beheading. You know that helps. Oh, I just lost my redstone because I have here an advanced item collector going right into my storage controller, which is controlling all of these guys here. These over here is my overflow. So that's where my block of redstone went. Everything that's not being processed by one of these drawers comes over here. These two are further away, and so they're the last. Everything goes into here first, and then into here, which then gets fed into this chest. I can see the stuff. What I can do, here, I'm going to move these guys off of my... Actually, I'm going to take, not you, I'm going to hit B and take you and put you off of there. And you don't need to be in here. Nope, I do want it there. Anyway, let's move these guys out of the area. Because what I want to do is grab these enchanted bits. And I looked, none of them are things that I care about. So I'm just going to go ahead and strip. I'm just close to level 40, level 39. Let's go ahead and, oh, just hit level 40. Yay, free experience. It's not super great because I have to do this manually, but hey, it's free experience, so who's gonna complain about that? Not me. All right, so then all these guys can go back in, and I have it set up with a item trash can over here, and I had to use item pipes because inside here, I made the gold level item pipe because I can do redstone control. So it's only on when it's powered. So if I flip that real quick, come back over to here, it's already sucked out that many items. So if I'm just running this and I don't care about overflow, it just goes, and that's perfectly fine. But right now I do want to do that as I find new stuff. I tried, there's a pipe from Mechanism that actually is an item pipe that accepts redstone signal. And you can have it be active with a redstone signal or active without a redstone signal. And none of those settings worked. It just fed it all right into the trash can. And so I said, fine, I'll use the item pipes to do that. So I've got, this side is the random reliquary drops. This is elemental craft. There's my heads. There's your random zombie drops. We've got fire, earth, air, water. I don't have any water mobs in here, but if I get something for like a drowned or a squid or something like that, squid would be hard to do in there. But I can put those in place. This is a very nice one from the Enderman because that's 3 Ender Pearls right there. Plus a lot of these guys, if I grab this, go ahead and hit U for usages. There's a bunch of reliquary stuff that you can do, but what's really nice with reliquary, you combine it with some mob drops and these special ones, and you get the charm fragments. You get 6 of those put together, and now those mobs completely ignore you, which is fantastic because, you know, who wants to get attacked by mobs? Not me. This is glow goop, and I don't see any usage other than making potions of glowing. Those come from fireflies, but I think this dread lamp will stop them spawning because they're really annoying. That's another reason why I have the fan blowing down, is to push them down to the kill chamber. Anyway, so these are the mob drops that I want. These came from just dropping Enderman over the side for a while. But This I'm very happy. All right, so let's go ahead. Oh, speaking of stuff, I'm using an absorption hopper here. This is again from Mob Utils, and I filled this up with deep slate. Uh, Nothing should be dropping deep slate. This prevents random mob drops from getting vacuumed up here. Instead, it's grabbing fluids, which is the XP, and that's going into my dark tank. So that's 144 buckets worth of fluid that I can go ahead and grab. This is my dark tank for blood. I had set up a pedestal right here with a spiked plate on top. So as they came in and they were taking damage and hitting this, it was feeding in blood into here. I got rid of it because it lets light through. So if I come in here and I hit F4 to turn on the light levels, it's all lit up because I got the lights on here. But if I turn those off, it's all zeros. Instead, that was like a light level 8. And so it took off like a third of this area and made it so it wasn't spawnable, which was the whole reason why I want this floor here is to be spawnable. So that didn't make sense. All right, so let's turn the light back on. I'm going to come down into here and spit out my catalyzing gland, and we'll turn off that. All right, so that's how I like setting up mob farms. I figured out where the storage was going to go. I generated first the shell and filled everything in it as far as the walls. Let's go run back just a little bit so we can see the... I went with dark just because I could. So that's deep slate, and that's blackstone from the nether, because I needed some and I was out of deep slate, so I went ahead and used that. So they're just bog standard cube. Designed all that, got the kill zone, got the everything set up as far as the storage down below, and then only when that was done did I go through and actually start turning out the lights and AFKing over there to get spawns, because that's how I do it. I've learned not to do it the other way. I need to grab another one of the these transmitters and put it back over there, the redstone link, so I can turn on my Enderman later. What I want to do right now is, let's hit my crafter. I want to make one more GM chicken feed cursed. This is where having buckets of liquid XP is a nice thing. Send that down here and grab that one. And when I was saying, you know, I was going to visit those chickens, it's time to go visit the chickens. So, hello chickens. Who would like to be involved in a horrible experiment? You would? Okay, here, have some feed. It's yummy. So I've got a rotten egg, and what this will do is it'll make a 5x5 patch of dreadful dirt, which allows me to spawn mobs, and regardless of how far away I am. But as long as I have the light on, that will work. You can give me one, and you can give me one, and I should be demonetized just for doing that. All right, that's way more fun. The reason why I set up the chicken essence, because I started mentioning it and got distracted, which happens so often, was because I had very few feathers, and to get these fans working right with mob grinding utilities, I needed lots of feathers to do the fans. And initially, I was going to have 5 around the sides and maybe a few more on the top. And then I went with the vector plates instead because I completely forgot I had made the chicken essence. Let's go up and make some dreadful dirt. If I come down here, it's a 5x5 area. So that's dirt just above there. So that's 3, that's 5 right here. Let's hit this with a rotten egg. And at top left it says grass block. Now it's dreadful dirt. And if we go back one more, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 underneath. Let's check to make sure. Again, this is on the edge, so that's 1, 2, 3. That needs to be dreadful dirt there. Come over here, 1, 2, 3. That's the center. And then over here, 1, 2, and 3. So there is a strip, and I should, if I calculate, there's one grass block strip in there. And unfortunately, I can't convert it all, and I'll just store that for later. Let's just store that for later. There we go. So now I didn't want to have this be 3 high because I keep bonking my head on these things. I could crouch and sneak underneath them, but I never remember to do so. These are all bottom slabs, so nothing should spawn in here, even if the light level is low, and no Enderman can get down here either. Which is a thing if these guys are smart. The ones that spawn from the spawner are dumb, but if I turn out the light, we should now start getting some mob spawning. And I need to make a device from mob grinding utilities that will prevent these Endermen from teleporting elsewhere, because that would be bad. Here, let's go ahead and stop them. I hope slimes will spawn in here, but I'm not sure if they will because I'm super high up. Let's take a look. Ooh, free charms. I will take that. Thank you very much. All right, I'll play with the AFK later, but not right now. One other thing, because let's grab that blood. Because I can't do anything here. All right, there we go. That's why I have that set up, so that I can recover things. I remember setting up one of these a long time ago, and had it just automatically void. And somebody was standing near my mob farm saying, "Here, take a look at my cool piece of armor." And tossed it to me, and I just watched it get voided away. So one of the things, and I have here, and I'm ignoring Mrs. the DuckFarmer who's texting me, which is a terrible thing to do. I've got Evil Craft lifted here because I was making a few things. I've got the Promise of Tenacity 3 in place, which means I can now hold 640 buckets. That's a lot of blood in there. And I can craft everything at this point. What I did do is I took, and I'm looking for it over here. Let's try just dead. I'm looking for the trees, undead leaves. There's the sapling. The undead sapling. I just had some dead bushes, and you can make those in other ways, but I went ahead and turned that into an undead sapling because I need blood, and I can either have mobs falling, or I could plant an undead sapling tree, and it just weeps. And you gonna weep for me now? Of course not. Oh, there it goes. There's a little bit of blood weeping down, and it sets up this little pattern here. I've got my sanguinary pedestal here, which if I right click, it's full. It's got a full 10 buckets worth of blood. Let's take that, put that there. I wanted you and you. And one of the problems with having B for backpack and C for this crafting and E for this is I forget to ever type E to get this. I'm typing all the other stuff first. And there's Mrs. the DuckFarmer bringing me, but it's automatically filling up everything here. And there goes all the blood. Yay! And that's working. That's working really well. You can see the blood is splatting on here and making little patches, but they are getting picked up by my pedestal underneath, and then that's draining right into here. And yeah, it's free blood. What's not to like? And I don't even have to configure this pipe. This is actually pushing the blood out, which is fantastic. So I need gone. I need to put a little trapdoor here so I can get down in there as I need. And while I AFK, which I do a lot, this will just be providing me plenty of blood. In fact, let me go ahead and grab that there. Gimme. Because I might as well grab all the blood I need. Run. So that was Mrs. the DuckFarmer calling me, and I couldn't ignore her anymore because she was saying, "Hey, do you want this food?" And I was saying, "Why, yes, yes, I do." So I'm half full. There's a lot more blood that can go in here. Plus, I want to make sure that I keep this full so I can repair my items. I might as well repair my items right now while I'm thinking about it. Ta-da! And it's one of the best things. Being able to repair items, so nice. And I also check real quick to make sure that no bad spells get tossed onto here, which can happen, but that's where you strip those bad spells off and throw them away because they're bad. Yay! So, a little bit of a more of a showy than an actual crafting of stuff, just because a lot of this just takes time. Making mob farms like that just takes time, and now I can strip out that piece because I don't need to stand away. I can turn off the lights, stand up there, mobs will drop, and yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to think what to do in the next episode. I'm thinking more techie because mystical agriculture, that's magical, and it's like magic getting all those mobs to drop. So tech, I think I'm going to do some tech. Anyway, this has been Grog the Duck Farmer here, playing on the FTOG All the Mods 8 server and having a blast. Things are going along really nicely, and I like it. And thanks for watching. Bye. Now I gotta figure out when this is the duck farmer's getting here with the food.